All right, we're on day 3 here of starting to remove this 3RZ engine out. And today we're going to work on a couple ancillary items. And one of those is these coil packs right here. They're just held on by, well, each one or each set's held on by 2 10mm bolts. So I'm just going to take them off like this. Come off pretty easy. And what I'm going to do here is just take the spark plug wire out with it. We'll put these back in here. Try to keep hardware together so you have less bolts that are separate. And as you can see, this is the 1 and 4 spark plug. Off there. There, the first one's out. Second one, come around here. It's got 2 bolts back here, and it's going to be a little harder to remove. Just because it's tucked a little further in the back. We'll see if I can get on it with this. Looks like I can. This one, oh, really can't because there's a little sensor in the way. Let's break it loose. This. Then I do it with my hand. That's the number 2 and 3. Coil pack. Oh no. Then it looks like there's a couple 10 or 12mm bolts holding this piece on bracket. That off. Switch over to 12. And there we go, this bracket's off. Next step here, we're gonna take off this idler pulley right here, which will give us a little better, allow us to take off this belt and then give us better access to try to get this AC compressor disconnected. It's basically the same as the other setup, is that there's a bolt. Can't really see it, but it's right here, giving tension, and you can access it from underneath. So what we're gonna do here is get under there and release some tension on it. All right, found the right tool for the right job. There it is. There's a better shot of the idle little pulley and the tension bolt. So I'm just gonna take this here and just totally take that off. There shouldn't be any tension on this bolt now. You can just pull that up. Sorry, pull that up, take that off. Then to totally take it off, I'm just going to take this bolt off, or not, and then that just comes off. Like so. And then after that, this little spacer just pops off the bolt, and then you kind of flip this backwards to get this bolt off where the holds the tension. All right, we're going to start by we're trying to take off the AC compressor, and we're going to start by taking off this little wire connector at the top. You push in here, and then you just work it. You'll hear it clip, and then, or unclip, and then you just work it out slowly. That's off. There's probably some dielectric lubricant or something you could spray to loosen that up a bit. Then there's two 12mm bolts here. Once you get it loose enough, just get it with your fingers. And there's another one right on the other side of the suction and refrigerant line, another 12mm bolt. It's going to slide right out underneath the suction line. That's what it looks like. Continue on with the second one. There's the second one. The next two are right under the compressor. And let me get the right socket here. 12 on. It might be a better idea to actually do the top instead of the bottom. That way you kind of that's all that's holding the compressor on. Set it right here. Kind of tie it up so it doesn't fall. All right, we're going to continue on by removing the air compressor and idler pulley bracket. There's 2, 3 14mm bolts, 2 on the front, one right here, sorry, and one below that, kind of closer to where the idler pulley was. And then there's another one up here on this front face. Let's see if I can get to it. It looks like I can. It's coming off pretty easy. There's my hand. There's that bolt. 2 off the front here. Lower one first. Actually, some really good looking bolts. Clean. Okay. There's one more. There's more. It's hard to see, but it's on. Let's get on the bottom here. Right there. See if I can get on it and loosen it. Okay, it's loosened. Now it's just a matter of my fingers kind of get in the way. Up a little more. We'll access it from the top because I'm getting in the way of the camera. This up with my finger. last one, the bracket's off. Last two things I need to do is, let me get a little better shot over here. There's a little clip, and you just need to take a screwdriver and kind of push it in and work it out. I've already done that. And then this one is sensor here. It's just standard push in, pull out, and I've already done that. That's why it was so easy. You're probably gonna have some issue getting those out because there's just dirt and oil and stuff that's clogged things up. Here's a closer shot at this one. Can't really tell, but there's just, it's flexible and you can squeeze it in, and that allows it to come out. Not the hardest, not the easiest sensors either. I've ever pulled out. Next step is going to take a couple of transmission lines off. We have the dipstick. So there's going to be a 12 millimeter bolt right here. It's pretty easily accessible. And then the actual supply and return lines down here. Looks like there's a 14 millimeter bolt we're going to take off. All right, let's start with the 12 here up top. This filler line, it decouples about halfway down. In fact, it's hitting this header, which is making it hard for it to seat in the coupling. Now, I don't know if it's these LCE headers, if there's a little bit of variance when they manufacture them, because I think they're fairly custom. Or if it's something to do with the body lift on my truck, suspension lift. Could be a lot of things. So there's that 12 millimeter bolt. Then the 14 down here. This ratchet. That the supply and return transmission lines are disconnected from the engine, except for there is one more 10 millimeter further back. But I am going to wait until I get the headers off to access it. No reason to rush. I'm going to try to show you guys is just see if I can get this thing. Pulled out. So it was seated in there somewhat. Oh. Maybe I did actually have the dipstick out. Pretty good looking fluid. All right, we're going to start next by taking off this header. It's a bunch of 14 millimeter bolts. It's like bolts, they're a mix of studs and bolts. a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Since this throttle line's a little bit in the way, I'm just going to go ahead and take it off. Looks like it's a 14. Just loosen it up. Here, and that slides off. Pops out. Put it out of the way. All right. I think what I'm going to do is loosen that last one up a bit. This might be the hardest one to get out, frankly. It's pretty odd. There we go. All right. Gotta just take these out. Here. Put anti-seize on these, so I think that's why the stud is backing off. And I'm just gonna have to do that one with the socket. Or not socket, the wrench. I actually think I can get to that. I'm gonna go underneath and try to get to it. Remember, I have a body lift, so this sometimes makes doable work. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. That's the one we can't get to. Another odd thing you might notice is I've got this here capped off, which that is the delete. Okay, as I was trying to remember, this is the EGR delete, which it's there for reducing NOx, I think cooling exhaust temperatures. I'm not, I wouldn't advise actually doing that modification. I don't think it got enough out of it. I do think it would help a little bit because you're bringing that back into the intake, maybe keeping things a little bit cleaner over the life of the engine, but overall I don't think the modification is worth it. I may put mine back on actually when I'm putting the engine back in. So anyway, got one more stud here to take out. The gasket's already fallen out on me. Where did that dude go? There we go. It's an exhaust gasket. Okay, the last two steps to take off this header, one is to get the oxygen sinister off. Probably stock is a 12 millimeter bolt. These are a replacement Gensos. Probably I got it online at Rock Auto, and they came with 13s. Magic 13mm bolt again. Can't seem to get away from them. I went ahead and sprayed these with some PB Blaster. Before I start taking them off, we'll see if it helped. Go, the O2 sensor is off. And thread these 13mm nuts back on. And the last one is 14mm. Nuts holding it to the catalytic converter. Let's see if I can get on here. Can't on that one. I really can't on. Well, I can on that one, I think. And that one's off. And that's it. Back up top here, should just lift right on out. Yep, and that's an LC header right there. It went pretty smoothly. I think I'm gonna buy new studs because the bolts or nuts are seized on the studs, and I just don't think I want to mess with it and risk it on the new or slightly new motor. All right, the very last bolt holding the transmission lines, supply and return to the engine, are right here, right behind the oil filter, and it's a 14mm. Get in here and loosen it up. This camera to sit right there. It's hard to get some of these shots in here. That's that. We'll see if I can get in there and just get my fingers. That'll work. Should be the last one to hold the lines on. There it is.